Understand something, guys. Nothing worth ever having in this world comes easy.
Do what these champions doing if you're going to be a champion.
You control your outcome.
Who am I?
I'm a champion.
What up, champs, and welcome to a brand new breakdown powered by Biosteel. As always, I'm your host, Adrian, with my co-host,
Sylvie.
And we're back, and we're breaking it down. And we do one of these every Friday. So if it's your first time, welcome. If you're a long-time listener, welcome back. If you want a topic covered, please send us a DM on Insta or an email, and we will do our very, very best to break down that topic in an upcoming episode. And also, some of the topics that we've been asked for, we've definitely done before. So just Google Champ Lifestyle and your topic, and it may be there, because I've had a couple requests that we had already done. So just an FYI, right? What's today's topic? What are we breaking down?
Elimination diets.
Which I assume mean that you eliminate something.
Yes. So
what do you eliminate?
You are correct. So elimination diets are about removing foods that you might suspect to have some unfavorable symptoms. And so symptoms could be digestive issues, like gas, bloating, constipation. It could be skin rashes. It could be joint pain, headaches. It could be fatigue, brain fog. The list can go on, but it's a way to see if you have maybe some food intolerances, sensitivities, or allergies. And so I will mention that you want to do this under supervision always, because again, there's certain ways to do it. And if you have any suspicion that you have food allergies, it is important to talk to someone who knows this, because there's a lot of information out there.
Especially if you have like a very severe food allergy, right?
Yeah, if it's anaphylactic, so meaning that you have a response that is like you can't breathe or hives, or
right.
It's a really aggressive response, then you want to obviously get that checked out
and have a medical professional, because
exactly, because it's a lot further than probably just the food causing that, and you want to be under medical supervision. Okay.
So those people aside,
yes.
What do we do?
Well, there's several types of elimination diets. So you could do some digestive ones, like a low FODMAP. You could do gut health protocols. You could do autoimmune protocols. But we're going to go over just a general list of foods that could cause unfavorable symptoms for a lot of people. And this is kind of like the standard elimination test that I've done before with clients, that I suspect that there's some foods that they are not reacting well to. So there are a couple phases to an elimination diet. The first phase would be to eliminate. And so I'm going to go through some of the culprits that are common, but it doesn't necessarily mean that these would be for you. It's just it's just a list that can cause inflammation and symptoms with people. So the first one would be gluten, then dairy, grains, corn, legumes, tree nuts, citrus fruits, pork, soy, vegetable oils, refined sugar, shellfish, nightshade vegetables, which would be tomatoes, potatoes, eggplant, pepper, goji berries, and alcohol and processed meats. So although that does sound like a very intense list to eliminate, a lot of the time it won't be, all of them. It could be one or two of those. I will mention that things like vegetable oils, refined sugar, and alcohol and processed meats can cause inflammation in
always.
Most people.
For everyone.
Yes. Everyone.
Yes.
So
I don't think anyone's disputing that.
So yeah, basically we're eliminating these things in order to see if these particular foods are causing your negative symptom. And so for the first 2 to 3 weeks, I would recommend doing the longer 3 weeks if you can, because then you'll really get an idea if it's a food issue or if it might be environmental or it's not due to these foods that you've eliminated. Normally people do feel better when they are eliminating these things, but there can be a little bit of an adjustment phase to it as well. And so during this phase, you want to see, again, if you have symptoms for 2 to 3 weeks with eliminating these foods. And then you want to do the reintroduction phase. And the reintroduction phase is very important because you don't want to overwhelm your system and just introduce everything back at once, because you just won't know what the culprits are, and you probably will not feel great after eliminating these foods for 3 weeks and then adding them all back in at the same time. So the reintroduction phase, you want to do 2 to 3 days of one food. So if it's gluten that you've eliminated, and you suspect that is the biggest issue, then you want to introduce that right away. So if you have an idea of what foods it might be, you want to introduce those ones first. So gluten you would do for 2 to 3 days, implement it with meals, and then again, see and be your body's detective and see if you have any negative symptoms along with it. And then after the 3 days, if you're like, okay, I feel good or I don't feel good, but I also want to see if there's other foods that I've eliminated that are causing issues. So you introduce dairy or whatever, and you'd go through the list and see any of the negative symptoms. So you want to introduce each food individually back into your diet. Otherwise, it's super overwhelming for your system and you just won't know what the culprits are.
Right.
And so, like I said, there's a lot of different ways to do elimination diets. And I would not recommend this as a long-term plan for anybody because it's very restrictive. And, there are a lot of nutrients in some of the foods that we mentioned that you can, like for instance, tree nuts that you can get from benefits from, and if you just eliminate it forever because it might cause inflammation, it's just not a way to sort of have a healthy, balanced diet.
Right. So
long term.
Right. So the important thing is to be your own detective.
Exactly.
And then if you do target something and you want to pursue it further, then you can take that next step.
Yes.
Right.
And I would recommend to work with someone during this because there's a lot of professionals out there who have protocols for this and recipes and ways to make it easy so that you're not looking at just the restriction part and being like, what can I eat? Because there's a lot of things that you can eat. And so, like I said, protocols and working with a professional, I would definitely recommend when doing this. But that is what an elimination diet is overall. And yeah, a lot of people are doing them. A lot of people ask questions about them. So I thought it would be important.
I like it. Fan request. It's amazing. Guys, if you have any other requests, please send them our way. As always, thank you for watching. Head over to the website, biosteel.com. Use the code word
Champ Lifestyle, capital C, capital L.
and you can grab yourself 15% off your very next order. We'll be back next Friday with a brand new breakdown. Take care, guys.